Hey, Penny. Hey, Pat. Hello, everybody. I'm just fooling around with some of the things in my background, trying to make things bigger. Hey, Hannah. Hey, Valentina. Maybe you guys can tell me when you're on TikTok, like right now when I'm looking at my screen, I leave, you can't see my mouse. So see the little purple space next to my face? I leave that open because for me, that's where the chat comes up. Is that where the chat comes up for you guys? Like if I put something, if I moved myself, oh, I can't do it like this. If I moved myself here, would you not see me anymore? That's where you see it? Okay. Can I go all the way back there? Jumping around. Okay, I just want to make sure that there's a reason why I'm leaving that. For you, it also comes up. You're watching it from your computer. Okay. And I wonder, I'm afraid if I delete this, I won't be able to put it back. But I do have the chat. Oops. Oh boy. Go back. I have the chat box here. So if I get rid of this, do you guys still see the chat? Or does it go away completely? Thanks, Silly Beans, for the follow. I love your username. This is how we start off every live. I just troubleshoot. You can't see it anymore? Okay, so I'll keep it up. When I upload it to YouTube, it automatically uploads now. And the chat is not there because it's going straight from my stream. And it doesn't pick up the TikTok chat. So I just figured if it doesn't need to be there, I'll get rid of it. But I want to be able to see it. And I want you guys to see it too, so. All right. Upside down smiley face. Had family in Alabama the last 2 weeks. Have you missed anything important? I don't know. It's so hard to keep up with it, I feel like, because we're moving so slowly through the month. But I don't know. Anyone remember specifics that happened last time? I'm so bad. Like, I should probably review it before I come on, but I'm always getting on here at like 6:55 trying to make everything, put everything in the right place. It was Easter. They went to an Easter, they called it the Easter exercises at a church. They were talking about a bridge is being built in Cedar Rapids, and Ralph and Georgia's dad have something to do with it, but there were a lot of newspaper articles on that. Another update, I don't know if you were here when we're talking about the game Flinch. Basically, we've been talking about the game Flinch since the beginning of the diary because they have played it almost every single day. But I did buy an old game of Flinch, and an update is that Ian and I did play it. I took like one tiny video while we were playing it, and I feel like it's not enough to actually make a video from. But I know a couple of people were asking, so I might try to get him to play again. He did like it. So it took me a while to get used to just the way, not even like the rules, but just the gameplay. I said before, I hate learning instructions for games. It's like my mind just shuts off. I have such a hard time comprehending and playing it for the first time when you don't really know what you're doing. It's always nice to have someone who knows how to play to just show me, because I'm a very visual learner. So when I'm learning, like I watched a YouTube video. The game is so old that I think there are many different ways over the years that you play. Like there are different rules that in some of the older instructions you see, and some of the newer ones don't have it. So we just kind of combined the different rules that we were finding, and we figured out a way that worked. But it was fun. And I think it'll obviously become more fun when we really know how to play and we can do it quickly. It was very slow. All right, yeah, there's a lot of piles involved in the game of Flinch. A lot of you have a stockpile, and then you have playing piles, and you have your own pile, and you're trying to get rid of your stockpile. It's kind of a little complicated. And I'm not really a card game person, so it's probably similar to other card games, but I have no knowledge base for that. Okay, I'm trying to, wrong thing. Trying to move this down just a little. I don't know. I could always just do that. Okay, I'll just watch it and make sure. Okay, so we're reading through April now. We're about halfway through April. Be here till the end. You're on baby watch. Oh my gosh. Well, congratulations. Hope everything goes well. On baby watch. Okay. So we'll start with, this is actually Ralph's. So we're going to go to Georgia's diary because we always read hers first. Ladies first. So to review, Ralph and Georgia, the two people who wrote these two separate diaries, are, we think, engaged. We know that they'll be married in December of 1903, which is the year that this diary was written. I'm not sure if they're officially engaged yet. Thanks for all the likes, guys. I see the little hearts coming up. I appreciate it. Yeah, so I assume they're engaged, but they haven't specifically mentioned that. They're definitely together. Like, he comes to visit her all the time. And they're obviously a couple, but I don't know how engagements worked in 1903. I'm sure it was different for everybody, too, so. They're trying to keep it in the... Oh, okay. Not time yet. We don't want it to be time yet. All right. Got up. 6:30. Hitched up and took R, that's Ralph, and Andy, someone he works with, to work over the river. Beyond Catholic Cemetery. Interesting. We could look for that. Took Grandma, up to Sam's house. Those M's always catch me. Looks like a W, but I think it's Sam's house. Let me know if you guys, if something goes out of view. Just tell me, because it's always a little wonky. Yes, I did try flinch. Me and Ian played it. And the first time, it was a little slow going. So we did like a practice round where we had to learn all the rules. And then, and not even the rules, like the play of the game, you know? And then we played again, and it was a little bit more fluid. And now once we play again, I think it'll be more fun. It was just like trying to like remember, oh wait, do I flip a card at the end? Or what do I, you know, there's like all these little rules that you look up the older version of Flinch and it tells you one thing, and the newer version kind of changes the rules a little bit, so it's kind of hard to like figure it out, but we did. Okay, went to office. I was saying I took a little video because I know a couple of people were commenting on my video. They wanted to hear about it. My original video where I just kind of like showed the game. But I can't figure out how to like make the video interesting. I haven't been making a lot of videos lately. I've been like a little bit uninspired, but I need to get back into it. At 11:30, I went after the boys. I washed dinner dishes. Be a rebel, make your own rules. Yeah, we kind of ended up doing that. Like, not really making our own rules, but kind of figuring out as we went along. Like, I'm trying to think of an example. At the end of your turn, you're supposed to discard a card. Well, it's unclear if you're supposed to, no matter what, or if you do only if you want to. So we just kind of, like, changed it up to make it work for us. But hopefully, you know, sometimes when you don't know those little rules and you don't follow them, the game doesn't work, but it seems to work. I washed dinner dishes as Mama went to Cedar Falls at 1. Went to office. Ralph, hey Audra, and Albert came down after school. Got supper and washed dishes. Talked with R all evening. Mama came at 8 o'clock. Went to bed at 10:30. Okay. So we do have a picture of Ralph. I always like to show him. I wish we had a picture of Georgia, but we don't yet. But that's Ralph. At the age where he wrote this diary, he looks like a little boy, but he's not that young. He's 22, 23. Okay, so now in his diary, on April 17th, so the same day, He wrote that it was clear and warm. Georgia took Andy and I to... Oh, he gives us a little bit more information. I'm going to need help with that. Hagmore? Hagawam? I know. Heather said she's been trying to look for a picture of her. I wish it was like... I wish someone else could just go, oh, it was right here, you know? But I think we've searched up and down. Hagerman? I'm gonna go with that. Penny's really good at reading the handwriting. You always come up with the answer. And, oh, Hagerman Farm. And, okay. Georgia took Andy and I to Hagerman Farm and came after us at noon. Started to walk out and met J.R. Vaughn and Geo Miller, who took us out in automobile. Interesting. Got through. Got. What do we think that says? He's saying got something at 6:30 and something in. Walked in. Got there. It looks like more than there. Yeah, it kind of looks like through. Sometimes he writes something and then changes his mind and just writes over it. I don't know, because got through doesn't really make sense, but I think it, I don't know, I'm just going to go with it, because that's what I see too. And walked in. Got in at 7:30. Talked with Georgia a while and went to bed at 10. Okay. So what I would normally do if I wasn't just on a live where like you don't want like dead air time, you know. If I was looking for the Hagerman Farm, which I'll probably do after, I usually make a little list and I'll share it with my Patreon subscribers, the Diary Detectives, and we'll look for it together, or you know, I'll just put it up there if anyone wants to help research. I would look at the old maps of Cedar Rapids, and we know, it's like fun. I love this hobby because it's like solving a mystery all the time. So we know from Georgia, her diary, that it's, the place is past the Catholic cemetery, over the river beyond the Catholic cemetery. So I know because of where she lives that by over the river, she means, I think it's south. I know which direction over the river, so I could look at a map and know which direction she was going in. And then Ralph specifically mentioned Hagerman Farm. So in old maps, sometimes they have the names of the farms or the people who lived there listed. I can try to like quickly pull up what I would look at, but I don't want to spend, you know, forever on here. Just kind of, you know, sometimes it's hard to, or not hard to find things, but sometimes it just takes time. So it can be kind of like boring. Oh, you can have a map. Okay, awesome. I'm going to look up my links that I've saved too, because I think I have quite a few from when we were looking at her diary, the 1895 one. So we would be looking for anything close to 1903. I have a, oh no, that's the whole county. Let me see if it's useful. No. Okay. Not useful for me right now. Looking for... Well, I have an 1896. This 1896 atlas has names. Hold on, let me sign in. Is it not gonna like... Sometimes when I move the link over here, it gets all mad at me. Yep. Valentina, just let me know if you send one, because I don't have the Discord sounds on anymore, so I don't hear it if it goes off. Okay, so now, this is like a really old atlas of Black Hawk County, which is the county that her town is in, Waterloo. So I'm going to look for, well, Waterloo and East Waterloo are 40 and 41 page, but it probably doesn't correlate here. Of course not, right? I think I might have it. 1 second. I do. Oh no, that's Eagle. Dang it. Okay, so I know that... Okay. That's the town of Black Hawk. Town of Cedar. Cedar Falls, which she went to. Oh, you sent a 1910 one. Okay, I'll look at this one and then I'll also pull that one up. You'd think it would be easy to figure out what page it's on, but sometimes... Okay, here we go. Sometimes it actually doesn't match up. Okay, this is East Waterloo. So she lives up here. So when she's crossing the bridge, it's going this way. I don't know actually if she's over here or over here, but either way, she's coming down. So is there a Catholic cemetery? Right here. Oh my god, cool. Okay, so that's actually much more rewarding than it usually is at first. So it's hard to tell because there's no like main streets listed or anything over here. It's kind of confusing. But she's somewhere on this side of the river. Oh, you guys can't even see my mouse. How do I fix that? I thought you guys could see my mouse. Hold on. Can you see my mouse if I go on here? No! It says capture cursor. Well, that's weird. I'm sorry if you guys can't see it. This whole time, I thought you could see like where I was circling things. Okay, hold on. Typing. Yeah, I have it saying capture cursor, but it doesn't work. Okay. Well, sorry about that. But I guess, oh man, that's such a bummer. I want to be able to show you guys. So I'm looking, I don't know how to describe it then. On like kind of the right side of the river, upper. That's where she lived. She would come down over the river. The Catholic cemetery is right, I want to circle it. It's right in the middle of the page. Oh, you see, hold on. Might be Hageman right in the middle. Oh my god! Penny, I love you. I'm like freaking out because I can't show you guys my mouse. Do you guys see it? Right under the Catholic cemetery, you can see J.L. Hagerman. Valentina sent it. Okay, let me open it up. Awesome. Okay, so this one is from did you say 1910? Yeah, 1910. Again, I'm like mad that you can't see my mouse. Is that a new thing? Could you see it before? I feel like I had my mouse showing before, but I've tried and I'll have to troubleshoot it later. Okay, I can't zoom in any more than this. So where, oh, right here. Now this says Charlotte Hagerman. Cool. So that's definitely a farm. You can't remember if you could. I feel like I would have noticed because sometimes I'm like, unless I'm just an idiot and I'm standing here circling with my mouse circling a word and you guys don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm sorry if that's the case, but I feel like something changed. Things update and change every single week, so. But this seems like it's the OBS, like the other streaming thing. I'll have to troubleshoot it after. So, J.L. Hagerman. This one is in 1896, so. Oh, and here's Charlotte, too. So they're both there. J.L. Hagerman. Maybe we can look on Find a Grave. Is that how it was spelled? I think so. Yep. Good job, Penny. You got the name dead on. We don't know when he died, but we know he's in Waterloo. Maybe he is still there. Joseph Lyon Hagerman died in 1897. Maybe he's related to Charlotte. He is. Okay. So this is probably... So this is not the Hagerman that he dealt with then. It must have been a son or something. Suspicious connection blocked. Yeah, so we don't really know. We could look at... Let's do this. If we search... oh, I wonder if I could do... I'm going to search specifically the census. The 1900 census. This is Ancestry, by the way. Well, okay, here we go. So I'm going to look up Hagerman in, I'm not going to say where they were born, but they're in Waterloo. Or, yeah. Any event, 1900 Waterloo. This will probably pull up the 1900 census. Okay, so Charlotte Hagerman. Maybe it's either the wife or another family member. Is this the 1900 census? Yeah, okay. So these are the people, these are the Hagermans that lived in Cedar Rapids in 1900. Charlotte, Alida, Edgar, Maud, and then a sister, someone else. And Charlotte is listed as a farmer. And so is her son, Edgar. So I wonder, Ralph was either meeting with Charlotte, depending on when she died. So she was still alive. Or he was meeting with Edgar. Where is he? Mary Ellen, Asher, Frank, George... I don't see an Edgar. Did I miss anything super important? Nothing too... Hey, Charlotte! Farmer Charlotte. Everyone say hi to Charlotte. Nothing too crazy happened. This is the first day we've read. I just got sidetracked looking up this farm. Hagerman's farm. Charlotte, it's good to see you. I miss you. Alright, I have not the right windows open, so hold on. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to pop back over to Georgia then. So this is Georgia's April 18th. Maybe we'll learn more about the Hagerman farm. Maybe he'll give the second name, the first name, I mean. I can never find anything when I'm looking up people on my end. Oh, what do you mean, like, searching? Oh, these people? Or TikTok? You mean these people? Well, I'm sure you have a lot of practice, though, with your... Charlotte works at a museum and specializes in historic fashion, so she has to look up a lot of people who have donated items or, like, the history of items. So you've had practice. But I'm always here to help you if you need it. Yeah, follow her. She's really cool. Got up at 6:45. Went to office. Charlotte and I met over TikTok. We were researching donors and wearers right now. Perfect. Hey, we can help you if you want. I wonder, can I multi-guest you? That would be awesome. I don't want to spring that on you, but I also don't know how to do it, but I would love to do that sometime. That would be really cool. Charlotte and I met from TikTok because I was researching a diary from 1917, which a lot of you guys know that diary, but for people who don't know, that was the one that started my whole hobby, my whole, I never did this before I found the 1917 diary. And she had posted a video that I saw that was about, it must have been about early 1900s fashion, and I reached out to her and I was like, oh my god, if you find anything from 1917, let me know, like it'd be cool to collaborate. And then now I've been to New York a couple times and I go visit her. We're friends. 2 peas in a pod. Got up at 6:45, went to office, helped with breakfast dishes. Helped with dinner and dishes. Now that I said that out loud though, Charlotte, we should do a research session together. The epitome of friendship. Let's research together. Where do you find these old diaries? They all came from different places. The 1917 one that I was just talking about, that was just like a really lucky estate sale find that I don't think will ever happen again. That's not typically something that's at estate sales. And then I did get a set from eBay. That was the last set of diaries that we researched, and actually the first one that I did these kind of lives on. We called them the Weatherman Diaries. They were from Iowa, from the 1940s. And through the research, we actually found the diary writer's great-grandson. So those diaries have gone to him now. And then these diaries that we're working through right now, there's 6 of them, written by Ralph and Georgia. They were donated. So yeah, this one goes to like I think it's 1907 or 1906. So we had the 1895 diary, which we read first. That one was Georgia's. And then we had a 1901 diary from Ralph. Now we have 2 that we're reading through from 1903. And then I think there's 1904 and 1907 or 1906. So we still have a few left. And this one is taking, this one's taking about double the time because we're reading through 2 at the same time. Oh, I just heard Claude. Can you see him climbing? He's up. I always point the wrong way. He's right there. He's climbing up into the window. Oh, good boy. He loves it up there. All right. Went to office. Got home at 5. Hitched up, comma. And went after R at office. Then went to mill for grain, for horse, for hose. Oh my god, I can't type. For horse. Then to grandpa's. After meal, then downtown. She's busy. After meat and fruit. And home to supper. I don't know if they stopped the diaries in 1907 or if that's just, like, that happens to be the last one that we have. It's hard to tell. I assume we only have from Georgia, we have 1895 and 1903, so who knows if she wrote in between. I assume these aren't the only diaries that they wrote and that it was more of a, extended before and after, but that's just the few that we have. For example, the Weatherman Diaries that we read through, I only had 3 of them, but I remember on eBay, there were probably 15 of them being sold. They were all sold separately, so some of them I got and some of them I didn't, unfortunately. But, so they definitely, it was 2 writers. It was Edna and her husband Todd for that diary set. So I think they wrote, it was their thing. And actually we learned from their great-grandson that was a family thing. They were very into writing diaries. So it wasn't just the 3 that we had. So in short, I think that they kept writing or that they wrote more before too. Home to supper. I washed supper dishes. It rained all evening. R and I played Flinch a while. Went to bed at 10:45. I want to know what's everyone's equivalent to playing Flinch. Like Georgia and Ralph and Ralph play Flinch every single day together. What's something that you do at, why I said 1895? Can't think. For me and Ian, it's watching Survivor. That's what we do. And now maybe we'll be playing Flinch too. Because we did learn. Uno, nice. Yours is birding, love it. Playing video games, yep. We do that too. But lately, we've been watching Survivor every day. That's like before we go to bed. Dude, your eBird streak is 650 consecutive days? Oh my god, I didn't realize. Wow, Valentina, that's really impressive. Oh, I have a fun fact about eBird. Well, it's not really about eBird, but it has to do with eBird. On the news the other day, I saw... So I live in Massachusetts, but I live close to Rhode Island. You're very committed. That's, like, scary committed in a good way. So in Rhode Island, a flamingo was spotted. A wild flamingo. Like, my first thought was it must have gotten out of a zoo. But it didn't. I think it's like a wild flamingo that was displaced because of the hurricanes or something. And it was logged on eBird. And like in eBird, because I know about eBird because I'm a nerd. No offense, Valentine. I think we have all accepted that we're all nerds. But I've used it, and it's very like, it's for birders. You know, it's not something that like everybody goes on to. But it was funny seeing it mentioned in the article. Last year, a few flamingos appeared on some state, but they've been moving. Yeah, there in the article it said something about like they were seen not all the way up to New England, but they were a little bit higher than they should have been last year. And now, yeah, I wish I saw it. Like, I'm close enough where if I had known about it, I mean, maybe it's still there. I should look and see if it's still being logged, because what a sight to see in New England, a flamingo just chilling in the ocean. It's like really cold ocean up here. I'm surprised, but hope he gets back home. Rainy got up at 7, went to office. I don't know if I would believe my eyes. Like, if I did see it, I think I would try to convince myself that it must be something else. There's no way I'm seeing a flamingo. Like, yeah, it is pretty cool. Imagine the people who logged that on eBird, because there was one time, bird stories. There was one time that I forget where I was, but it was somewhere in Massachusetts, like along the coast. And there's this bird, an egret, a big white ocean bird. And it was the great egret, I think. But there were like 100 of them. Like, there was a giant flock of these birds. And I logged it on eBird. And luckily I had pictures. Sometimes you can upload the pictures onto eBird, like with your sighting. Or you always can, but like I never really do. But I logged that I saw like 100 of these birds. And then someone like messaged me, one of the admin or something was like, can you double check this or verify this, because that seems like a little out of the ordinary. Which I guess, like, I'm saying this, they're doing a good thing by vetting all of these sightings, because you don't want people to say, oh, I saw this bird that's extinct, and then, you know. Anyways, but I was a little like offended, and I sent them the picture, and I was like, look, there are 100 of them, count them. And it was just funny. But I'm sure people all the time, like me, I'm an amateur. I always, like, if I don't know for sure that it's that kind of bird, then I don't log it. You know, even if I think 99% sure, I don't log it because I don't want to mess up any data or anything. But I'm sure people do. I'm sure people say, this is another, like, niche birding thing, but there's what is it, the ivory-billed woodpecker or something? It's, like, extinct. And every once in a while, someone will say, oh, I saw that. Because it looks a lot like another woodpecker, but really, it's extinct. Yeah, when it's a rare sighting, they need proof, yeah. I didn't realize it, and I was, like, a little offended that they didn't believe me. But I had my proof. Went to office, and to Dr. Cotton's. One of them is scratching the scratching post. It's not Claude. He's up in his window still. Can you see him? My messy basement. I'll turn this way. Birding is the original Pokemon. Yes, definitely. It does feel like that. When you go birding, it's like a little scavenger hunt. I always loved hobbies like that. Anything where you could go and check things off or keep a list, that's my kind of hobby. Took 7:55, train with MJN? MYN? To Rhinebeck. Oh, you got 5 new ones too? That's cool because I'm sure for you, it's probably rare that you get a new bird because you do so much birding. My problem is I have like all of the common birds I've around here, you know, I've logged them. It's the ones that move too fast for me to catch them because you have to learn a bird, like to look at a bird and know what it is. You have to see it a few times and check to make sure, but they're so quick. All of the warblers over here are too small and too quick. You don't have that many birds in Chile, and to get new ones you have to travel north or south. Well, you're dedicated. I keep a like a 5-year diary, it's called. So every day has a little small space to write in, and then as you go through, like you finish a year, you go back and start over and you can see what you wrote the years before. So I have one of those and I have been really good about it, but this summer I just fell off the wagon. So I gotta start that again because it's cool to look back when you do make it all the way through. Oh, greetings from Poland. Hello from Massachusetts. So when you do make it all the way through and you can see what you did the year before and the year before that, it is really cool. So I'm gonna regret leaving this whole summer just like not filled out at all, but it's one of those things. It's a habit. So like once I'm doing it a lot, I'm in the habit, and then when I don't, just kind of like forget about it. Okay, so he went, I think, established a grade there, which is probably something to do with the railroad tracks because he works on railroad tracks. Got back at 12. Rhinebeck is the town that he grew up in though. Went to office at 1:30. Worked on Hagerman, Platt, Plot. I don't know. Platt and Plot can both be used for those kind of maps, but till 3. And GB Miller's Plot till 5. Went, then take it as a sign to come back to writing. Yeah, good point. I say it a lot. Like, I feel like every time I'm on the live, I'll mention it, and then I think, oh, I should start doing that again. And then once I log off, everything just disappears. I have to write it down or I don't even think about it again. Went to, oh, I'm lost. Went to see Dr. Cotton and came back. Did we figure out who Dr. Cotton was last time? Georgia drove down and I went to the mill and to Berries after feed for Hector, then downtown, his dentist. Okay, did we find him in the census or in the newspaper? I forget. Down. Oh no, I'm lost again. This is a tricky entry. My eyes get lost. Dr. Cotton came back to office. Georgia drove down and I went to the mill and to Berries after feed for Hector, then downtown after supper. Or then downtown after supper. Run-on sentences. Studied and then played flinch with Georgia till 11. Oh, his account doesn't match up with hers. She said 10:45, he said 11. How do you like flinch? It was fun. It definitely, like, we're gonna have to play it a few times for it to be super fun, because the first time, you know, I'm just trying to learn the rules and there's not really a person to teach the rules. I always like when I'm playing a new game, I want someone who knows it inside and out to actually show me, but we don't have that. So I was just using YouTube and written directions, and it can be tricky when it's like, oh, when you realize, oh, I'm in this situation, like, oh, am I supposed to flip over a new card? What am I supposed to do? And there's not really anyone to ask. So once we get the hang of it, I don't know. You can, I guess, play it solo. Yeah, I'm sure you could. It would be less fun, though, because it's less of a competition, but it's kind of like solitaire a little bit. Like, solitaire is when you have to put the cards in order, right? So, like, you're flipping through, I'm gonna butcher this description, but, so you have these cards, there's lots of piles, and they're numbered 1 through 15. So, once you have a 1, you put it in the middle between you and the other player. And the goal is to, like, get rid of, you have a stockpile. So the goal is to use up all those cards, but you can only stack on top of the middle card if you have, like, the next one in numerical order. So if I put down a 1 and I also had a 2, I could put down a 2, I could put down a 3. But if I didn't have any more, then it's the other person's turn. And then there's also, like, other piles. Like, there's reserve piles that each partner has. So it's, like, it's a lot of piles. But Ian, like, did really well. I think the cards weren't shuffled, to be honest. Because Ian was, like, on fire, and it's just luck. So I don't understand how I, like, never could make a move. And he was always like, so we'll have to shuffle him really good. Yeah, I guess it's kind of like 2-player solitaire. Yeah, and in solitaire, do you have, like, extra piles that you can only flip over? You can only use the one on top, but you can, like, I don't even know. I don't remember. I used to play solitaire on the computer as a kid, and I didn't know what I was doing. I just liked when you made the row, and it would, like, go, all the cards would go away. Got up at 8:30. Helped wash breakfast dishes. Rainy morning. Helped with dinner and dishes. R and I went driving all afternoon. It was cloudy, but didn't rain then. Had supper, and then me and Mama went up. In real life, you have a stack of cards you flip over. Yeah. I always played solitaire on the computer, but it probably, if I looked up the rules to solitaire, I bet it's very similar. The thing that's confusing about me is all of the piles and, like, certain things that would happen that I don't know, like, what the protocol would be. Like, if you don't have a 1 in the middle, how do you, like, picking up extra cards, how many do you discard? I don't really know how that works, so we're gonna have to either make up our own rules, or I'll have to read through the instructions a little bit more thoroughly. The instructions that I read were very basic and didn't really touch on those little, like, if this, then this situations. But how did your hobby actually start? What was the first diary that got you into it? I have it, I think, right here. Yeah, I'll go get it. This is like my prized possession, so I keep it in this special box. It's a acid-free archival box, so it won't damage anything. But this is the first diary that I read through. When I got it, it was in rough shape and it didn't have a cover, so I actually had it rebound because it was, like, falling apart. It's from 1917, that's why it says that. And so this is the inside of the diary. So the cover is not old. A lot of people, when this was, like, trending a lot on TikTok. That's how I got a lot of followers in the beginning. Now it's kind of, like, steady with just, like, the usual crowd that comes back in. But this one was, like, it kind of took off. And a lot of people were giving me grief because they're saying it can't be that old because it looks so good. But that's just because the cover is new. I had it rebound because it was falling apart. But this is what it looks like on the inside. She has very unique handwriting. Oh, thank you, Corinne. Yeah, I actually haven't even... I've finished reading through it, but I haven't shared every entry yet. I think I'm in, like, October. So I need to keep doing that. I just kind of don't want to finish it. I think that's part of it. Like, I don't want it to be done. But I feel like even after I finish it, I could go through it again. And, like, every time I read through it, I find more information or I make another connection. So it's not like it would be over. But, yeah, this is a really cool diary. She even put, like, she would put little pictures or extra things inside the diary. So here, this is actually a piece of a dress. And this is, I'm like, it's mirrored, so I move my hand one way and it goes the other. This is a drawing of the dress that she wore to a dance. And how many do I have? I don't know. I probably have like 10 old diaries sitting around. I haven't read through all of them. And we had 3 that have now I've sent to a descendant. And someone had asked a while ago, I've read the question, but I didn't get to answer it, if we had talked to descendants for this diary, and we have. Georgia and Ralph didn't have any kids, so we haven't been able to find any direct descendants. Like with the Weatherman diaries, we found their actual great-grandson, so that was like super cool, and he was so excited to get that. And I even interviewed him, so if any of you are on YouTube, I have a long interview that I did with him. It was awesome. So with this diary, we always look for direct descendants first, but they didn't have any kids, so obviously no grandkids. I found Georgia, her, like, I always forget what the exact, it's like her cousin once removed or something, his descendants. So someone that she does mention in the diary, so they are, like, close enough family that she knew him. His descendants still live in that area, and by posting on, like, a Facebook page over there, I found them. So they're going to accept the physical diaries, and then anyone who, like, if we find anyone else who is related, I send them just, like, digital copies, because I think they should get something too, but I kind of just go by whoever I find first who also answers me, because a lot of times we'll find someone and we'll know where, like, this is the right person, but they won't get the Facebook message, or they ignore me because they think I'm a scammer or something. So, like, sometimes it doesn't work out. But, I mean, I've only successfully sent away those Weatherman diaries. The 1917 one, that one I'm keeping because it's, like, it's sentimental to me and special to me. I also spent, like, $200 getting it rebound, so, like, that one is my baby. But the Weatherman diaries, like, those were fun to go through and definitely, like, nice things to have, but I think it meant a lot to Jim to get them back. So you saw nieces and nephews of hers? Of whose? Of Georgia? Well, okay, so on Ralph's side, yes. We have not explored Ralph's side yet, like, looked for descendants of him. I found Georgia's second cousin, whatever he is, his name is Milford, his descendants, so that's on Georgia's side. If Georgia had nieces and nephews, that would have been, I have their family tree. That would have been on Ralph's family, which, I mean, we should look for him too, because half or most of the diaries are written by Ralph. I just hadn't really, like, dove into him. I think because we were trying to find a picture of Georgia, that's why we focused on her the most, or at least me, you know. I think everybody else is kind of in the same boat from the diary detectives. I don't know if you guys agree, but I focused on Georgia because I was trying to find a picture of her, and I thought, like, finding her relatives, we would be able to find one. Okay, so this is Ralph, and, okay, these are all his siblings. I thought this was Georgia's side. So he has Frank, and Frank, I think, yeah, Frank and another one died young, but John, this is Clifford, John Clifford, he has a bunch of kids. So, yeah, she does have nieces and nephews, and we really should look into them more because they're going to have direct lines of descendants. That's how you feel about your first diary as well. Yeah. There's something about the first one. And Anglesea's diary is like, it's like watching a movie. Like the feelings that I had while reading through that the first time and typing it out and figuring out like who this person was and her life and finding pictures of all the places she went. It was just like, it's a crazy feeling. I dropped my pen. So yeah, got sidetracked a little bit, but did I answer that question? I forget. Okay. Then me and Mama went up to Grandma's a while. I know, I hope we find a picture of Georgia. Oh, yeah, sorry, I saw your question about the weatherman, and Penny answered it. We didn't know his name for a long time. Or, no, we knew his name. We didn't have a picture of him for a long time. We found out his name, like, a couple weeks into reading it. But at the beginning of every entry, he wrote about the weather first, so that's why we called him that. All right, then me and Mama went up to Grandma's a while, came home. And went to P.O. to mail card for Papa. And then took a walk. Talked a while and went to bed at 10:45. Ralph went back to school at 1:26. You know what I did a while ago and I forgot that I did it? I was talking about, so the Weatherman Diaries, when we finished them, I was like, oh, I should go back to the first videos I made about it and kind of like react to them. Because in the beginning, I wanted to know, like, what were my assumptions or what were some of the things I was, like, speculating about? Because I don't even remember. After a while, you lose track of what you learn and when you learn it, and when the pieces actually come together. And I did go back and I reacted to one of the first videos, and I have, like, a video file of it, but I never did anything with it, so I should probably post that. On Sunday, April 19th, raining, and I don't think it would have snowed. I think that might say enshaved. Maybe he's adding it. It's not about the weather. Maybe he's adding it to this sentence. So, what did it cost to mail a letter? I don't know. But you know what? In these old diaries, in the beginning, they have a lot of information. I'm trying to hold it without. They're really falling apart. They're in bad shape. But it's kind of like a little, I don't know what the word would be, like almost like an almanac, but with more information about like random things too, not just times and tides and all that stuff and weather, but postage. Okay. Oh, it's so small. Domestic postage. It actually has a whole page on it. First class, letters and all written matter. Oh, this is telling you what is first class. Whether sealed or unsealed, and all other matter sealed, nailed, sewed, tied, or fastened in any manner, so that it cannot be easily examined. 2 cents per ounce, or fraction thereof. A special delivery 10-cent stamp when attached to a letter in addition to the lawful postage entitles the letter to immediate delivery at or within 1 mile of any post office. Postal cards, 1 cent each, with paid reply, 2 cents each. So it costs 2 cents per ounce to mail a typical letter. And it could be fastened in any manner, including nailed or sewed. Sewn. That's kind of crazy. Can you imagine getting a letter that's like sewn up? But maybe that also means, so no, it says all written matter. And all other matter. So maybe this is also including like packages. Next time I send out a letter, I'm going to sew it shut. Second class, all regular newspapers, magazines, and other periodicals. 1 cent for each 4 ounces. Third class is printed books, pamphlets, circulars, engravings, lithographs, proof sheets, and manuscript accompanying the same and all matter of the same correspondence. That is 1 cent for each 2 ounces. And fourth class is all mailable matter, not including in the 3 preceding classes, which is so prepared for mailing, it's so hard to read these things, as to be easily taken from the wrapper and examined. So this must be like packages. Rate 1 cent per ounce or fraction thereof, except seeds, roots, cuttings, bulbs, plants, and scions. I don't know what that is. Which are 1 cent per 2 ounces. Limit of weight 4 pounds. Yeah, so that must be like sew a bill shove with a check. Yeah, I know. So when they open it, it rips. Direct your mail matter to a post office. Yeah, and now it's telling you how you address it to the person. It's funny because, like, way back when, maybe in 1903, they probably put, like, maybe they put the street number, but they didn't always have street numbers, especially in, like, very rural places. So they would just put the town and it would show up at the post office. I think that's what was going on in their world in 1903, because they talk about going to the post office like every single day. So they must go there to pick up their mail, and they don't have like a mailbox or anything at their house. And it makes sense too, because they didn't really have as much of a means to bring the mail all over town every single day. Like, they didn't have cars yet. Hi, Gretchen. Glad you're here too. We're reading about postage in 1903. Oh, and then we have money orders too. And then foreign postage is on letters 5 cents for each ½ ounce. Oh, that's expensive. Much more expensive than domestic. 2 cents per ounce to 5 cents for ½ an ounce. International postal card is 2 cents. And to Canada, it's only 2 cents for an ounce. So that's the same as United States. That's interesting. Who would have thunk? We'd have a little tangent on postage. Got up at 7. This is Ralph. Studied till 8. After breakfast. I was just thinking, because Corinne said, dang, it's come a long way. I know. Can you imagine, like, there was no tracking back then. You could send a letter and it could just disappear into oblivion and you'd never know. I don't know. Was a penny worth about $1? I'm not sure. I can look up. This is usually how we do it. Inflation calculator. So if you have, can you go opposite way? 2024 to 1903. $1 in 2020. Wait. Okay. It thinks today is 1903. It's a little bit confused. $1 in 2024 is about equivalent to a purchasing power of 3 cents in 1903. Is there a place you could read the entries that you type? Yes, actually. On my website, which is www.thingslostandfound.com. I can try to type it in the chat, but it might, I don't know if it would work. Because sometimes TikTok will censor that stuff because it thinks it's spam. But if you go to that website, or it's in my link tree too, I have a section, which I can show you. On the top here, if you click on the Slippy Diaries, these here are Google slide presentations, which never load for me because I have a million things going on my computer. If I left it here for a little while, it would load. But inside these little windows, which of course you can't see what my mouse is doing, but the little empty windows there, it should pop up a couple of things. This slide, which shows just pictures of the people that we find, but also there's one called 1903 Diaries, and that's the entire diary so far that we've read. It was filtered. Oh, dang. Okay, well, you'd have to go through my link tree then. But you have to put the www if you type it into the URL for some reason. But yeah, so long story short, you can read everything we've typed so far here, and all of the other diaries are on there too. I also upload my live streams. They go to my YouTube, but showed in the purple section. Oh, okay. It showed in the purple section of the chat, but not the other chat. Interesting. Yeah, I would be surprised if it let me send a link. I feel like it always filters that out. But what's weird is you can't see, like for me, I can see my chat. Like I can see it, but it doesn't tell you that it was filtered out. After breakfast, read a while, talked to Georgia. Oops. Took a bath. My typing has gone very downhill. And dressed up. Went something an afternoon with Georgia. Driving? Yeah, I think so. And went up to Berries after supper with Georgia and Mrs. Newton. Then took walk with Georgia. Went to bed at 10. You could add the link on Twitch. I haven't been streaming on Twitch. I stopped doing that. I have a Twitch account, but I have been streaming onto YouTube. I should put a link on my YouTube page. I don't know if I have one. But I've been going on there because it saves. Oh, you know what? I didn't realize people were commenting on the YouTube. I should keep that open. Sorry. Let me pop that out. Usually people don't go on to the YouTube, so I don't even look, but okay. Wish you could write a diary. Never had the patience. Yeah, I know. That's cool. Time Lord Boy, thanks for the comments. And hi, Grandma. Grandma's over there. And Servesh-tastic, thank you guys for joining on YouTube. Sorry that I didn't see you. I've been also streaming onto YouTube because it automatically saves it and just automatically uploads it, which is really nice. Because before I used to have to download the recordings from TikTok, which took forever, and they're like massive files. And then I'd upload them again, which it took forever. So it's nice that it's like automatically uploaded. No, I don't actually get anything from TikTok for views because I'm not in the creator program. I was a long time ago when it said I could join it. I was like, oh, cool. So I signed up for it, and then my views like tanked. So I left the creator program, and then things never really got back up to where they were. I think it wasn't just that. I think it was TikTok in general, like, has just the algorithm changes all the time. So I don't think it actually was that, but I wasn't really making anything anyways. It's very little. But I do have a Patreon subscriber page, so that's where I do make a little bit from. No, I don't have YouTube. YouTube's not paying me either. I don't have enough hours or something of watch time. They're very specific too about like the criteria for meeting that, getting to put ads or something, but my Patreon I do make a little bit from that, which is nice. You can see up in the corner my Patreon subscribers, and they're all, of course, a bunch of them are in here too. Corinne's one of them here. Chai Doll. Yeah, it's like a trap. They entice you but then tank your views. Yeah, that's what, who knows what the real reason was. I don't want to be like a conspiracy theorist, but I definitely did like notice after I joined it that it was hard, like things that were just, I would post a video and a bunch of people would see it automatically, and then after that it was kind of like, it was more difficult to get the views, and lately it's been like horrible. I have 77,000 followers, and when I post a video, it shows it to like 100 people. If you look on my page, it shows more. It's like 1,000, 2,000, which seems like a lot, but if you have that many people who choose to follow you, you'd think that it would show them your videos, but it doesn't. And that's like a little discouraging sometimes. Not gonna lie. Got up at 6:40, helped with dishes, mended, got ready, and went to office. Cloudy and rainy morning. Who was the owner of the diary? Sorry, came late to the live, like age view. Which one are you talking about? Sorry. Are you talking about the first one, the one that I was talking about? Where did I just put it? Oh, here. The 1917 one. That was written by a she turned 18-year-old woman in Brooklyn, New York. And she was, what's unique about her story is like she was in the upper, like high society class. So the math ain't math. Yeah. Okay, so sorry, the one that I'm typing now you meant. So these are from, well, both of them are from Iowa. They are Georgianna Newton. Her full name is Georgianna. And Ralph B. Slippy. So Georgianna was a little bit older. She's 25, I think. Yeah. She's 25 in 1903. Ralph is 23. We read through one of her diaries from 1895 when she was actually still in high school in Waterloo, Iowa. So that was cool. And that was before she knew Ralph. Then we read one of Ralph's diaries from 1901 before he knew Georgia. And now it's 1903 and they both know each other and they're a couple. And they're going to be married in December. So did that answer your question? Just like who? Yeah. Yeah, and we've been working on these diaries, the two that we're reading together right now, we've been working on for a while. And then before that, we read her 1895 one and his 1901. We're reading them in order by year. I never see you on my FYP or follow. Yeah, I know. I don't know what it is. That's what I hear from a lot of people, unfortunately. I did already I try to make the live, reminders, or I schedule the lives, basically, on my TikTok page, because I think it helps some people to actually get notified. But yeah, it's discouraging when a lot of people come in here and they're like, oh, I haven't seen you in forever. I'm like, I'm on every week. It's just TikTok. Oh, that's cool, Sarah. That's good to know. I always show up on Sarah's. I know that liking the live helps. I never want to say that though. It feels really weird to be like the live, guys, share the live. But I mean, it does help because it shows TikTok that people are interested. But you'd think, because we have, yeah, exactly, Valentina. We have the same people who come back every week. Like, I have a good group. There's usually about 20 to 30 people in here who are following the story. They come back every time. And you'd think that TikTok would see that and know that, this is content that people actually want to see, but whatever. I could rant about it all day, but it's not going to do anything. And a lot of other creators say the same thing. It's totally unpredictable. When I first started doing these lives, and a lot of you were here in the beginning too, it was a little bit crazy. There were thousands of people in the chat sometimes, and it was a little bit overwhelming. But I don't know. Helped with dinner and dishes. Nice in afternoon. Read a while. Laid on sofa. And slept a greater part of the evening. Going back to bed. Your share, subscribe voice sounded like Alexa. What, when I went like live? Going to bed at 10:15. Usually she doesn't say going to bed. Usually she says went to bed, past tense. Well, thank you. You guys, you don't need to go crazy tapping. I don't want you to, some people, I was watching a few lives actually this week. I'm not usually on TikTok live other than to stream, but with the politics lately in the United States, I've been watching some just not really political one way or the other, but there's a lot of creators on here who are just kind of having conversations with both sides. So I found that interesting. So I was watching that, and they're constantly like the live guys, tap, 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 tap. I'm like, okay, that's a little extreme, but I appreciate it, but you do not need to do that. I think this says clear. Little shiny because of the graphite. Took 126 CRI and P to CR, so that's the train. You were liking the live and it swiped you off the live. Too much, too intense. Took 630 train, or no, 630, I skipped a line, C and NW to Mount Vernon. Slept on CRI and P. That's the train, like the name of the railroad. Good point. She crosses her H instead of T. Oh, I missed, I know it was, I'm going back actually. Yes, how did I miss these? I was just going on a rant. FYP shows me to Stone Glasgow. That's good to know. Glasgow. Sorry, I said that weird. I think it depends on how much you interact with the content. Her width looks like milk. Oh, back on hers. I missed that. Yeah, a lot of times I'm like used to reading her handwriting now, but if it's the first time or if you really look at something, it does look like it says milk. Anglesea's handwriting, the 1917 diary, is like, it takes a lot of effort to read. Because, or especially in the beginning, I've gotten used to it, but her handwriting is really hard to follow. A lot of letters look weird. Well, thank you, Magic's Madza. He said I have good energy, or she. Remember, you could barely make progress before having to explain what you were doing. Yes, that's the thing I don't miss, because people would come in and be like, what is she doing? What is she doing? What is this video game? And it's nice to have people in that at least, I mean, it's nice to have people who know what's going on, but I feel like the people who come in, because it's a little bit less crazy, they ask in a more respectful way. And I also have a lot of you now, which is awesome, who are able to answer the questions. But it is true, when it pops off, it's like people asking questions faster than you can even explain them. Remember that guy who came in and was telling us that it was fake? And that there was something about the KGB. Slept on CRIMP train. That's the other thing. We don't get many trolls in here, which is nice. But every once in a while, I should have not engaged with that guy. Yeah. I know, we ended up blocking him. He came in and he was like saying I think, what were you reading at the time? We were reading, oh, I'm sorry. Yes, thank you. I am on the wrong person because I switched over. I think we were reading Ralph's diary at the time. I don't remember which one it was, but it wasn't too long ago. And he was saying like, oh, are you sure this is a real diary? And I'm like, well, as far as I know, I mean, someone could have made it up. It wasn't me, but I mean, I think it's legit. You know, everything matches up. We can find the people, we can find the places, we can find the events that happened. So I think it's real. And he was like, what did he say? He wanted me to like sniff the diary because if it smelled like the glue that they used, I don't even know when he was saying, but someone at some point was trying to send like messages. Was it World War I or something? They were trying to send secret messages and they would do it through, according to him, I don't know if any of this is true, but through like things like this, they might secretly, he wanted this to be like a coded message from like some foreign government. But it was not. You remember that? Avel Psycho, I don't know how you say your name, but they pop in to say, I remember that. Yeah, that was a very interesting live. And I'm always like very open to people asking questions. I love to explain what I'm doing, and you know, they're like Stone Glasgow, you have a lot of great questions and I am not annoyed by that. I like love it. So when this guy came in and he was asking a lot of questions, I was like, oh great, like I'll answer some questions, I'll engage in this conversation. And then I just got to the point where it was like, okay, this guy's being a troll. And he's not really interested in what we're doing. He just wants to shake it up. Do you think we'll make it to the 27th? I don't know. I can try. Is that your diary birthday? I guess if they were worth enough on eBay, they could be faked. Yes, and I am not denying that. And that's why I kind of fed into the conversation a little bit, because it is true. And especially well-known people, like there are or could be reasons out there for someone to fake this, you know? But the ones that I have, I mean, it's just like, what do they say? It's Occam's razor or something. It's like the most possible, or I don't know how to phrase it. What is the way to, of course, I look like an idiot on TikTok Live. Like the most probable reason is or the most probable outcome is probably true. Like, it's just, why would anybody fake this and sell it for, no one even sold this to me. This was donated, but you know what I mean. It all started okay and then went off on a wild tangent. Yes. Sometimes wild tangents are good, but the dedication to fake the whole backstory of two people and write it out. Yes. And the same thing happened to me, of course, because it's TikTok. Like, there's always going to be people, haters, and people who try to, like, trolls. So with the 1917 diary, I can actually show you. This, it was Valentine's Day. So I made a post. This is clearly, like, this is a real diary. Like, I have found every friend that she mentions. She has these newspaper clippings, or, like, cast clippings from the plays she went to. Like, there's no doubt about this, that this is legit. And she just was really meticulous, you know? And it was well preserved, probably because someone just didn't open it for years and years and years. But there was this one page on Valentine's Day where she has this little heart glued onto the page. And I made the grave mistake of saying, oh, she put a heart sticker in her diary. And you wouldn't believe how many comments I got. They didn't have stickers in 1917. This is fake. You faked this entire book because they didn't have stickers. I'm like, okay, I said the word sticker because it looks like a sticker. And also because she has the same sticker. I shouldn't say sticker. She has the same piece of paper pasted on a little book that's inside the diary. It's very cute. And it matches. So that's why I brought it up. And like, what do you think people, I mean, obviously they have glue back then. Like, she glued a little heart in there. And oh my God, every single comment. It was one of the videos. I've only had a few that really, like, totally blew up. Like, this video had like 2 million views. Who knows what it's at now. But oh my God, it was so annoying. It was like half people saying, this is so cool. Like, thanks for sharing this. And then the other half is like, you are a liar because you said the word sticker. Look at the photos of the pages. They didn't have that high quality cameras. It's a fake. Yeah, I know. And like this, all of these, like, I definitely just redesigned, something just fell out of here. Redesigned all of these, what do they call it? Ephemera from different social events from the time. I definitely just completely designed and made up this little dance card from her dance. And I happened to know the names of all of these men that happened to live near her. And like, come on, does it really make sense? Unless I'm brilliant. And if I was that brilliant, I would be doing something else. Anyways, end of rant. Why do you think they might be fake? Yes, thank you. The simplest explanation is the most probable. That's what I was trying to say. Anyways, what a time. Slept on the train and at Cedar Rapids. I'll try to get to the 27th for you, Sarah. I've been going on a lot of tangents today. Till 6. Got breakfast at lunch counter. Oh, and he crossed out and. Recited astronomy, chemistry, lab, 8:30 to 10, Law of contracts. Sounds like a boring class. And chem lab till noon. Studied English and recited at 2:30. Something in okay, this is you can't see my mouse. Grr. So the line after studied. I'm trying to figure out what that says. Something in something oration. I thought it was an H. Is it? Oh, hold on. Sorry. Oh, no biggie if I don't. Yeah, if I don't, then next week will be your week. But I feel bad if you've been waiting for it. I haven't gotten to use the diary birthday button in a while, too, so. Something in... It looks like a J. Junior? What do you guys think that says? I really don't know. It could be, well, does he use I that I can see? Try to compare the letters. I feel like it's an H. Like, I really wish you could see my mouse right now. That's frustrating. Like, the little slash looking line might be part of the H. Or it might be I. I don't think he writes his I's like that. You have no clue. Yeah, I don't either. Something. Traveled. Yeah, I traveled. It could be. I don't know. It doesn't really make sense, but that's what I see too, I guess. I traveled in junior oration. What are the words before? Studied English and recited at 2:30. And I think that's like the end of that sentence. It doesn't make sense. Like, no, traveled doesn't make sense, but that's the closest thing that I can see. And so he is a senior, I think, at this point. So maybe he like is presenting. Travailed? Is that an English word? I know travail is French, but oh, handed in. Is it handed? If you can imagine that first letter being an H. Handed. Just written a little bit messy. Yeah? Okay, cool. I think so. It's one of those things, like, if you look at it too long, it doesn't make any sense. But then sometimes if you look away and look again, it's like, oh, okay. I think it says handed in junior. And it also might not be junior oration. That's just what I thought I saw. Because he's not in any classes that start with a J. Could be general. Journal, maybe. It means worked on. Oh, cool. I didn't know that was an English word, but it matches up with the French word. I just remember travailler. I'm just going to leave junior oration. Chemistry lab till 4. Library. It took me forever to learn what it looked like when he wrote the word library. Like, every time I'd read it, I forget what I thought it said, but I would be like, what the heck? And everyone would be like, it's a library. Junior oration, I have no idea specifically what junior oration is, but oration, he uses that word a lot about school. So I think it's like a presentation. I could look it up, actually. How am I going to phrase this? Yeah, it's like, okay, speaking skills. He has that a lot where he'll have like a subject that he's learning or a class that he's taking, like English, and he'll say recitation or oration. So recitation maybe is like practice, and oration is presenting what you've learned. I have no idea. But junior would be like junior or a senior in college because he's in college. So every once in a while he'll mention like senior exams or senior what's something that they've done where he's I know he's said it before. I could look it up. Oops. Like the senior class prayer meeting, like they do delineate or specify certain things like senior party by the year, senior thesis. So he's probably said junior something before. Junior class. He gave a speech to the junior class, so maybe, I don't know, maybe it's something left over from his junior year that he needed to hand in, or they had oratory class, or maybe he was like helping. Maybe handed means like gave it, like lent a hand, like handed in. I don't know. I'm picturing like handed in something, but I guess that doesn't really make sense if it's a verbal thing or oration, you know? So maybe he helped in junior oration. I don't know. Just a guess. Chemistry lab till 4, library till 5. Wrote letter to Georgia. Yeah, some things we just never really are gonna know the answers to, but studied after supper till 10. It's hard to let go of some things, though, and just accept that we're never going to know, because there are certain things that have happened in the diary that we didn't understand, and we've spent the time and, like, really figured out what was going on and what was meant. So if you spend the time, a lot of times you do find out, but some things just aren't worth it. Like when he was working on the railroad and he was putting all of those decimals and long strings of numbers and abbreviations, I just hit a point where I was like, okay, I am never going to know like these specific places and the numbers associated with them, so I'm going to let that go. I see Claude behind me. You see his tail hanging down from the window. I always point him out. He's been sleeping there a lot lately. Never in the winter. Like, he was never up there in the winter. I guess because it's colder. But he loves it there. 6:30. Got up at 6:30, helped wash breakfast dishes. Went to office. Went downtown. Helped with dinner. Well, she, I guess, puts that in dishes. Went downtown. Went to office. When she's talking about the office, she's talking about her father's office. Got home at 5:15. Read papers. Lovely day, only rather cold. Myrtle came in. Oh, I lost the YouTube chat again. Where the heck did it go? I have to keep everything open in separate things. Ian's grandma said, it's in amazing condition. Addie, I remember the original copy of that first one. Yeah, I remember I brought it over and I showed Ian's family and his grandma. And it was really like, it was still together, the diary, but it was like ready to just fall apart. And especially flipping through it and really trying to read through it, I felt like I was trying to be really careful and not like have it explode. Because the whole cover was missing. So it had no cover, and then at the side of it, like the spine, was unraveling. So all of the stitching and stuff wasn't, something had snapped and it wasn't stitched together anymore. But the guy who rebound it did a really good job. And it feels very sturdy now, and that's what I wanted. So Myrtle came in to see me at office in the morning. I think we have a picture of Myrtle. Helped with supper and dishes. Read a while. Then Papa and Mr. Marsh, who we know, came and we played flinch a while. She played flinch with her dad and a bridge engineer. Went to bed at 11:45. Let me see if we have a picture of Myrtle. I always forget. I know we have one of her friends. I think it's Myrtle. Well, we have a few of her friends, but I get Myrtle and someone else mixed up. Why isn't it? Oh, maybe it's not her. Mabel. I think it's Mabel that I have. Yeah. I have a picture of Mabel, not Myrtle. Okay. The 20th. For Ralph. Took. Well, it was. Did that say clear? I don't know. Clear, I think. Took 126 CRI and P to CR. Took. Wait. Oh, this is from. Okay, that's why. I was like, what? It seemed very familiar. I was on the wrong day. Okay, April 21st, it was also clear and cool. Studied till 9. Chemistry. Lab. Till 10:30. Law of contracts. Chemistry till noon. Studied and read till 2:30. I have pictures of his school too, I should show you guys. In room. Made up recitations in astronomy at 2:30. I spelled that. Come on. Astron. Ah. Okay. Chemistry. 3 to 5:45. Read till 6:30. Studied till 10. What is going on at the bottom of this entry? I'm gonna finish it, but what? Took short walk and went to bed. What is this? Oh, you guys can't see my mouse, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Is it just like a little way of him marking that he's writing like a separate thing? What does that mean? To something. The something city good. Talked a while. And went to bed at 11. A new drawing. Yeah, I know. He's notorious for his illustrations. I have no idea what that is supposed to be. If it's supposed to be something. 11 equals 11 equals 11 equals 11. Oh my god. But what is this? To something... It could be... That could say oration again. I don't think it does. To something. The... Something city? Can't... Oh, I wonder if it's a place? Like it's a continuation from a different page. Yes, kind of. Oh, hold on. Oh, hold on. This, maybe this, like the next day, he ran out of room. Okay, hold on. After supper, Georgia and I went to Grace. Yeah, I bet this is what it is. But what the heck? Yes, okay. We'll read the next entry and then maybe it'll make sense. But yes, he definitely is continuing because this says... The Holy City, I think, and this is about I think the church? I don't know. We'll see. Okay. We're going back to her then. Good call, because I was going to try to decipher that without knowing the context. But he definitely ran out of room the next day and then had extra room on the top one. Or from the right side, maybe. But the second entry, the 22nd, seemed like it got cut off. Like he would need to finish it somewhere else. And he's never done that before. All right, Wednesday the 22nd, she got up at 6:40. I'm determined to make it to the 27th for Sarah. Helped with breakfast dishes. Went to office. Went downtown in morning and afternoon too. Went to office a little while. Shouldn't have said anything. Yeah, I'm determined. In PM. Helped with dinner and dishes. Hitched up. Went to train after Ralph. Got supper and washed dishes. Ralph and I went to Grace. Oh, good. Listen, she's gonna tell us what they did. And then we're gonna be able to read his handwriting because we already know what she said. Awesome. Thanks, Georgia. And went to Grace Methodist Church. This is the church that her dad is very involved in. To the Schumann Club concert, which maybe we can find that in the newspaper, and was very good. Went to bed. I was thinking hers give context to the chicken scratch. It's so true. Went to bed at 11 o'clock. Yeah, and usually we read his second, too, which is funny. Like, I wonder if we read his first, what would be the difference? We'd be confused a lot more, I think. Went to bed at 11 o'clock, ironed in morning a while. Okay. So before I go to his entry, I will go to the newspapers.com and I'll look up Schumann Club concert. Well, we know it's April 1903. Waterloo, Iowa. We did not... Oh, I'm not even logged in. Still didn't find anything. Okay, well... I don't know if it matters if there's... Oh, here we go. Anyways, doesn't matter. Schumann Club concert. Wednesday evening, Grace Methodist Church, admission 25 cents. Okay, so Schumann just has two N's, and that's probably why I couldn't find it. SCHUMANN. Cool. Oh, and here, Holy City. See, this is good that we read this first, because now it does totally make sense. We don't have to spend... Oh, look, a maniac's awful crime. Oh my god. Okay. Off topic. Holy City tonight. Pleasing cantata. Oh, cantata. That's probably what he was saying here. He is. He said cantata. I'll go back, actually, because... Yes, that's... Would we have ever figured out that he wrote the word cantata? Never. Never would I think that is the word that he wrote. I wouldn't even, like... I don't even, like... That's not a word in my vocabulary that I would even think. Interesting. Okay. The cantata, The Holy City by Gall, will be given by the Schumann Club tonight at the Grace Methodist Church. The final rehearsal last night was such as to promise a #1 rendition of this pleasing choral work. The 40 voices with piano and organ accompaniment will produce a most pleasing entertainment to everybody. The admission is 25 cents. The concert begins promptly at 8. And then we have a maniac's awful crime. Killed his wife with an axe, surrounded by a posse. He commits suicide. Oh, God. There's always, like, these insane articles in the newspaper back then. If you just, like, I'm always looking up one specific thing, but every once in a while I do a little look around My favorite thing to look at, I should make a video of this because I do this a lot, is the lost and found ads in the newspaper. Specifically the ones in Brooklyn. From when I look up the stuff from the 1917 diary. It's so funny sometimes, like, oh, I lost a pearl necklace outside this store on this time. Or they found it or something. Like, I found a pearl necklace, blah, blah, blah. If you're able to tell me a detail about it, send it to this and I'll give it back to you. Like, it's just like nowadays when someone posts on Facebook that they find something and, oh, just tell me what, I found a phone, tell me what the lock screen is, you know? I don't know. Yeah, it is terrible. It is gruesome. Comparing that, so during the 1917, not during the 1917 diary, but when I was researching that one time, I always like to look up, like, if her friends that she goes to visit, if I can find their birth dates and stuff, I'll like, or find them in newspapers, I'll kind of track their life and see what their life panned out to be. And one of them, like, I think it was Sydney. No, it was, I don't know. He was like a side character. He was mentioned only a couple of times, but he went on to, it's horrible. I don't know, obviously they don't know what happened because it was a murder suicide. I shouldn't say that on TikTok, they're gonna like flag me, but it was like, oh my god. And they don't know like if he did it to his wife or his wife did it to him, but it's like, it's all fun and games till you find something like that and you're like, oh my god. There's a photo of me and my grandpa when I was like 3 and he's holding a paper where the first page was a terrible crime. Oh my god. Awkward. Okay. So I'm gonna have to go forwards and then backwards. So the 22nd. Clear. 58 to 29 for the thermometer. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, Ian's home. Got up at, unless it was, maybe it was 29 overnight, like maybe he's saying the low and the high. Got up at 7, oh my god, that's loud. His writing was especially messy on this entry. Yes, maybe he's rushing. Recited astronomy. Is Claude getting up? Dad's home! You see him climbing? Oh, my head gets in the way. Oh, my big head got in the way of him climbing down his little thing. Recited astronomy. He always writes astron. And made up law of contracts for Friday. Aww. He was sleeping up there until you came home and then he came down. Purring. You're famous. Went to chapel and delivered. I'm afraid he's gonna jump onto my head and scratch me.
No, he wouldn't do that.
Chapel oration. Law. He wouldn't do that. Law of contracts till 11:30. Chemistry till noon. Went to see Dr. Oh, I have a quest for you. Stay here. He went to see Dr. Nicholson. We haven't heard about Dr. Nicholson yet, so I should write him down. Wonder if it's about his tooth. Did you ever think you would know about some guy in 1903's toothache?
No.
He's been struggling. It's better than learning about his boils. Everyone's saying hi to you.
Hi.
Remember in the... You don't have your head. I can't see your face. The camera's there. Look at Claude. Remember in the first diary that we read of his when he was giving us the details about his boil that kept coming back? Took train to Waterloo. Saw farmer at Cedar. 10K likes. Thanks, guys. Cedar Rapids for Mrs. Newton. Went to see Dr. Cotton. I always want to say Dr. Colin. After supper, Georgia and I went to Grace. Okay, so this is when he's saying he went to Grace Church. Ian, I want you to try to tell me what this word says. 2. What do you think it says after the word 2? It's a really hard one. I'm being cruel because we already know what it says.
The first 4 letters I don't want to pronounce. That I think it
okay. Well, you're close, but the vowel is wrong.
This looks like it says something lately.
You know what it says?
What?
Cantata.
Oh.
We would have never gotten it, but look, we found the event.
The first 3
I know
letters.
what you're gonna say. It's C-A-N-T. But look, a pleasing cantata.
Oh.
How is that actually pronounced? Cantata?
I don't know.
Cantata. I remember in band, I feel like we played a song that was called something cantata. Okay. Church to cantata. Don't leave. The holy city. And he thinks it was just good. Talked. Yes, he did have dinner. Hold on. I want to see it. Oh, he's lying. Glad Ian. Deb said, I'm glad Ian didn't say what he thought it was. Talked a while and went to bed at 11. All right. I don't know, Sarah, if I'm gonna... You think it's holy? H-O-L-E-Y? Probably how he spelled it. I don't know if I'm gonna make it to the 27th. Especially when Ian gets home, that's when I get really hungry. Because I'm like, oh. He's gonna make me some dinner. Oh, I don't usually put the day. April 23rd. Yeah, next week. We'll do it next week, I promise. I just hope you'll be here, because I wouldn't want to miss it. Got up at 6:40. This will be my last one, I think. I don't know. Ian, are you going to make anything for dinner tonight? Oh, boring. They're wondering what you're going to make. Chef. He made fried rice the other day. It was very good. Got up at... He's going to make Kung Pao chicken. I start at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Breakfast for me, and I'd be happy. Yeah, it is breakfast for you right now. It's funny. Okay, got up at 6:40. Helped start to clean house down. Stairs. I actually made pickles yesterday. Tearing things up in parlor. I wonder... Maybe she means she just, like, really cleaned. You want food too, Valentina. I know. As soon as I mention it once, it's all I can think about. And I'm like, I love pickles too. And I made pickles. We make fridge pickles, which is like, you don't actually have to do the whole canning process. They don't last as long. Like, I would like to learn how to properly can things, but fridge pickles are wicked easy. You just make the brine, and you put the cucumbers in with the brine, and you stick it in the fridge, and in 24 hours, you have pickles, and they're delicious. You just have to eat them within, like, a month or something. But anyways, I made them with my own cucumbers that I grew for the first time, because I'm finally in my garden getting cucumbers, and we're going to have, like, way too many cucumbers, because the plant that I have regular cucumbers growing, and then I wanted to get pickling cucumbers, and the pack that I got of the pickling cucumbers had so many, like, plants, and I don't have the heart to, like, kill, or I have too much heart, I guess would be the way to phrase it. I can't, like, throw away a seedling or kill a seedling or pull it out, but there are too many. I'm gonna have, like, a very large amount of cucumbers. I've been eating, like, 2 a day. And then I just made the pickles, and there's, like, I had, like, 4 of them. The pickling cucumbers are small. Like, they're smaller, so it's not, like, as crazy, but I guess it's a good problem to have. I'll just share with people. But I probably, next year, I'll plant less, because they're really there's a lot of them. You had the wrong pickles in your head. I was thinking, like, a relish. Relish is made from pickles, though, so you're right. You use different names though. Yeah, so when I think of pickles, I think like the cucumber sliced into like long pieces. I think they call them spears. Or circular pickles that you would put on like a sandwich or something. But relish is made from pickles, and it has like other stuff in it too, I'm sure. But it's like a sauce kind of. Started learning how to can the pickles. Start learning how to can them. Yes, I know how to can them so that they can like last a long time. We need to do that, but I've been trying to perfect pickled onions, but they never come out the way I want them to. We did that with, I think we used the same brine as the fridge pickles, but I don't know. I liked them, but I also wasn't like going for anything specific. So if you're trying to achieve the right flavor and you can't quite get it, that's tough. Swept, went to office. Actually, I'm gonna eat one of those pickles after this because they're ready. Helped with dinner and dishes. Went to office, but did not stay. I love pickles and olives, and I like pickled onions. I like those kinds of flavors, I guess. I love olives. Some people hate them. I feel like you hate them or you love them. Came on, but did not stay. Came back and helped with cleaning. Helped get supper and dishes. By the way, is my audio really low or buzzy today? Because last time, I don't know if it was like this for everybody or if it was just my YouTube. It's not weird? Okay. Because on my YouTube page, when I posted it automatically posts, but it posted the replay, and it sounds really like not right. And I don't know what happened or if it was like that last time. Maybe it was just like the YouTube thing. But it's like really low and there's a buzz. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't still bad. Helped get supper and dishes. Visited a while with Ralph. And then played flinch with him. Went to bed at 10:45. Nice morning. You were gearing up last week and there was no weird audio. Okay. Yeah, it must have just been maybe the others. I actually used 2 streaming softwares. You were hearing last week. Okay. I can spell. I have a hard time reading it. You were here last week? Okay. You were here last week and there was no weird audio. Okay. I lost my train of thought because I read Purple Onions. I used 2 different streaming softwares. One is TikTok Studio, like specifically for TikTok, and the other one is OBS, which is like a more broad streaming service, and that's how I stream to YouTube. But TikTok is like, they don't want you to be able to stream from other things, so you have to use their software. So I have to run both at the same time. So I'm wondering if OBS was hooked up to the wrong microphone or something. Like it might have been coming from my webcam, which sounds awful when it's hooked up to the webcam. Like you would know, it's like I'm really far away and you can hear all the other background noise. So it's okay. It's okay, Sarah. Nice morning. Gotta find it, but clouded up. And rained in afternoon. Okay. Ralph, April 23rd. He's been going to see his dentist a lot. Wonder if his crown is bothering him. Made survey for Mr. Ball. 8 to 10. Worked on Rhinebeck plot till noon. Went to Dr. Cotton's after dinner. Then to City Hall. Went out to Oak. Something to give grade. Oak Lawn. Maybe that's a town or something. Falling asleep. Oh, see you next week, Nikki. Nikki, we have a video meeting next Wednesday if you're interested. I have it on the Discord, and I'll send a link next week. To give grade. Rained, and I came back. Stopped at 4th Street Bridge a little bit on the way out. Something in I. Good night. See you then. Something in I worked cement tests. Worked cement tests. Wilson. Thanks, Penny. Wilson and I worked cement tests till supper time. After supper, talked to Georgia and studied. Okay. All right. So I think that's as far as I'll go today. I'm gonna go eat. We got through a good chunk, even though in the beginning I was doing a lot of talking and not a lot of typing, but it was a good one. A lot of good questions, good conversation, a couple of side tangents about birds, flamingos. What else did we talk about? Random things. I always love getting to talk about the 1917 diary, so it's nice whenever that comes up. I'm going to save this clip. And what I do is, I don't have it open. Where is it? I upload all of the ugly typing that's in here. I put it into this little scrapbook version. And then I also put in any relevant little clippings. So I'm just going to pop it in here for now and move it later. But we did find that. So that's cool. And there's probably actually more articles about it. I would love a picture, but they don't really have as many pictures in 1903 as a little bit later than about the same. I do have a picture of the church too I could put in there. But yeah, awesome. It's on your calendar for next week. I'll see you then. It'll be your birthday, your diary birthday, finally. Yeah, so I make live events. I schedule them on my TikTok page, so if you want to sign up for them, it's on my page. Of course, it doesn't really show up, but in my bio, you'll see live event. It says today at 6 p.m., but if you click on it, it shows the one for next week, which is August 1st at 6 p.m. Eastern time, so you might need to convert it. If you do sign up there, it's free, but it will tell you, it should send you a notification when I go live. Sometimes people don't get notifications, so if you really want to be here, you can put it in your own calendar, or you can join my free Discord page where I send announcements. So before I go live, I always send it. Good, you're Eastern too? Good. I hate, especially in my Patreon group, we have people from all around the world, which is amazing, but it gets so confusing with timing things. Like trying to make sure everybody can come to things. Poor Cosmina. She can never come to anything because she's so far away. Deb comes on here and it's like early morning for her. But we try. I always try. Anyways, I'll see you guys next week. And the Diary Detectives, the Patreon people, I'll see you. We have our extra video chat next Wednesday at, I forget what time I said, like 5 or something. I'll send a reminder. All right, bye everybody. Good to see you. I'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Bye-bye.